Chapter 27-29. You two really don't have to be so wary of me. I'm not as bad as the two kidnappers. Zhang Manlin sneered. That's hard to say. It's better to be careful, Pudding said. Fine. You're kids. I won't argue with you. I'll drink it first. Watch carefully. Then Zhang Manlin grabbed the bread from Pudding's hand, opened it and took a big bite. Then she took the water from Pudding and took a big gulp. After watching her swallow the bread and drink the water, the twins relaxed and began to eat. Pudding, take your time. Pudding patted her sister's back, afraid that she would choke on the food. Sis, I want barbecue and hot pot so much. I want to go home. I miss Daddy, Mommy, Grandpa, Grandma, Auntie, and Handsome Sue. They must be looking for us like crazy. Pudding cried as she ate. After all, she was still a child. After a few days of torture, her heart began to collapse. Pudding was sad too, but she couldn't be sad anymore. Otherwise, her sister wouldn't be able to take it. Soon. Good girl, we'll be home soon. Really? Little Bean raised her head and looked at Pudding with teary eyes. Really? When have I ever lied to you? I wonder what Boyun is doing now. If he knows that I'm missing, he'll be furious. Pudding sighed. Keichin Mumu. Your task now is to eat. You're still in the mood to talk about love. Pudding didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Seeing Pudding's calmness, Zhang Manlin decided to negotiate with the child. Pudding, come here. What? Pudding looked at Zhang Manlin warily. Let's talk. Talk about what? About sending you two home, of course. Okay. Pudding, you eat first. I'll talk to that woman. Pudding patted Pudding's head. Just be careful. That woman is full of tricks, Pudding reminded. Pudding nodded and followed Zhang Manlin to a big willow tree on the other side of the road. Pudding, you and your sister want to go home, right? Nonsense, do I need you to tell me that? Miss Zhang, let's not beat around the bush. I prefer to be direct. Tell me your conditions. I want to work at GK. I want to be your daddy's secretary, Zhang Manlin said. Oh, what a great plan. Seducing daddy would be more convenient, wouldn't it? Pudding looked at Zhang Manlin with disdain. Don't worry about my motives. Anyway, I'm taking a risk. You know that if I betray Huasiqian, I won't have a good ending. I need to find someone to protect me. Your daddy is the only one who can go against Huasiqian. I have to do this. Nonsense. Other than my daddy, Handsome Sue can deal with Huasiqian as well. Handsome Sue? Are you talking about Sue Yu? Yes. Why don't you say you want to be Handsome Sue's secretary? You just want to hit on my daddy. Pudding exposed her intentions. Hey, let's not talk about this. I have to pay a high price for betraying Huasiqian. His orders are very clear. He doesn't want you to go home safely. If I go against his orders and send you home, who knows what dangers we might encounter along the way. You don't have to worry about that at all. Just use your phone to call my daddy and tell him where you are. Daddy will come and pick us up. That won't work. Huasiqian is tracking my phone. He'll know before your daddy does. By then all three of us will be dead, Zhang Manlin retorted. Chapter 27-30. So, do you have a better idea? Pudding looked at Zhang Manlin. We'll have to keep going. This is a big ravine, so it's hard to get around here. There won't be any communication equipment in the village. I just checked the map. There's a big town about 70 miles ahead called Qinghe. There must be communication equipment there. We can borrow someone's phone to contact your dad and Huasiqian won't know. It's perfect. So you're saying that we have to keep going for 70 miles? Yes, 70 miles isn't far. If I drive fast, we'll be there in less than 2 hours, Zhang Manlin said. Pudding looked down and didn't say anything. She seemed to be thinking about something. If you promise me that after I help you I'll be your dad's secretary, then we have a deal. What if I don't agree? Pudding looked up and asked Zhang Manlin word by word. If you don't agree, I'm sorry, but I can't take the risk. I can only drive myself and leave you here. You might not know this, but I'm not trying to scare you. The villagers here are very unruly. A few years ago they went to buy wives. Because they're poor and they're old and smelly, no woman is willing to marry them. If you run into them, they'll lock you up and make you into a child bride. So you're saying that if I don't agree to your terms, I'll die? Pudding sneered. Not entirely. If your dad comes looking for you, you might be fine. But I can't guarantee that the criminals who caught you won't be one step ahead of you. Zhang Manlin, you're young, but you're really vicious. Don't say that. Every man for himself. I'm just trying to get some benefits for myself. Zhang Manlin flipped her hair and smiled. Pudding hated this woman, but at this moment she had no choice but to work with her. There's something I'm actually quite curious about. What is it? Zhang Manlin looked up and asked. You're making a gentleman's agreement with a kid like me. Aren't you afraid that I'll go back on my word? I'm just a kid. I'm not even 18 yet. Even if I sign a contract and put my fingerprint on it, the law won't recognize it, let alone a verbal agreement. Aren't you afraid that I'll kick you to the curb after you help us? You won't. Why? Because I've already recorded our conversation. If you don't fulfill your promise, I'm sorry, but I'll have to release it. Although you won't have to take legal responsibility, if this video is released, it'll affect your family, your dad's company, and your parents' reputation. I don't think I need to say more, right? Zhang Manlin waved her phone. As expected, you're quite the schemer. Heh. No wonder that big pervert Huasiqian appreciated you so much. You flatter me. So, Miss Pudding, what do you think of my offer? Deal. I promise you that you'll drive to the next town right now. My sister and I will leave immediately and go home. Pudding didn't even think about it. A woman like Zhang Manlin wouldn't amount to anything even if she worked at GK as her dad's secretary. Pudding decided that she would deal with this bitch after she got home safely. So she agreed to her offer. Sure. Let's pack up and leave immediately. Zhang Manlin was in a good mood. However, just as she was walking to the car, she suddenly received a call from Huasiqian. Chapter 2731. Big Brother Qian. Zhang Manlin called out shamelessly. Linlin, where are you right now? I'm not sure. I can't even give you my coordinates. We're in the mountains and the signal is weak. Well, I'll make it short. I have bad news for you. What news? You're now a wanted criminal. What? Wanted criminal? Zhang Manlin was scared out of her wits. Big Brother Qian. Haha, you're not joking with me, right? When have I ever joked with you? Huasiqian was very serious. How is that possible? How did I become a wanted criminal? Zhang Manlin's face was filled with confusion and question marks. I'm guessing that they caught He Yongjun and Xinjiani, and they confessed that they met you on the way here. Huamian hates you and insisted that you kidnapped the kids from Xinjiani's hands. Plus, you didn't call the police or Qin Chu. You've been so quiet, you must be up to something. Oh my god, how did this happen? Zhang Manlin was just about to bring the twins home happily when this happened. Don't panic. Listen to me. Head south. I'll get someone to pick you up. Big Brother Qian, I don't want to go to jail. Zhang Manlin was scared out of her wits. Don't worry. I won't let you go to jail. Listen to me and head south. I've got your location. You're about 70 miles away from Qinghe town. Hey, I'll talk to you when I get there. After hanging up, Zhang Manlin was very worried. On the other side, the twins were also plotting. Sis, do you trust Zhang Manlin? Little Bean asked. I don't believe her, but we have no choice. We can only choose to believe her. No matter how bad it is, it can't be worse than how AI Dao. He's right. If we're unlucky and get caught by those two bastards, then we'll have no way to survive. But we can find a chance to kill her and run away. You know how to drive? Pudding asked. Little Bean shook her head. That's it. Both of us don't know how to drive. How can we go home? Isn't there a village nearby? We can ask the villagers for help. Little Bean wanted to kill Zhang Manlin so that she and her sister could leave the mountain. No, I can't guarantee that we'll meet a good person. If we meet someone worse than Zhang Manlin, it'll be even more troublesome. Zhang Manlin's just trying to seduce Daddy. We can deal with her slowly when we get home. She's not a threat, but I don't want any more accidents to happen. Pudding was more thoughtful. Oasis, will do as you say. I hope. This woman won't play any tricks, Little Bean said. Don't worry. As long as we reach Qinghe town, we can use other communication devices to call Daddy and tell him where we are. We'll be home soon. It won't take long for the helicopter to get here. Yes. When the two sisters were almost done with their discussion, they got up and walked to the car. Zhang Manlin, on the other hand, didn't look as happy as before. A few seconds ago she wasn't a wanted criminal. Now she was a wanted criminal. She was wanted by the police, which disrupted all of Zhang Manlin's plans. Inside the Hua mansion, boss, what will Zhang Manlin do with the child? Will she kill him? Aching asked Huasiqian. Chapter 2732. No, she doesn't have the guts to. Then we'll send someone to Qinghe Town to pick them up. Okay, Ching, send some smart people to Qinghe Town. After they pick up the twins, send them to Qishan. Don't go back to the city. What about Zhang Manlin? What should we do with her? Lock her up too. Don't let Qin Chu and the others find her. That way they'll always think that the twins are still in her hands. Okay. City Bureau Office. Honey, are you still unable to get through to Zhang Manlin? Yeah. Qin Chu nodded gloomily. Must be Hu Xiqian's doing. I'm going to find her. Then Hu Min turned and ran. Ming. Qin Chu wanted to chase after her but was stopped by Gao Ran. Chu, don't worry about Mian for now. We just received news that He Yongjun and Shin Jiani were found in the mountains in the south, near Tao Yuan village. Really? Hearing Gao Ran's words, Qin Chu didn't chase after Hu Min. You and Gao Ran come up with a plan to catch those two animals. I'm going to skin them alive. Leave Hu Min to me. I'll follow her and make sure nothing happens to her. Thank you. Qin Chu nodded at Suyu seriously. The two men didn't seem to have much of a relationship, but when it came to real trouble, Qin Chu trusted Suyu a lot. Suyu was indeed a reliable partner. After Suyu left, he saw that Hu Min had already driven away. He quickly followed behind her, running red lights all the way. Even the police didn't dare to stop them. At the entrance of the Hu mansion, Hu Min rushed out of the car. Just as he was about to enter, Suyu stopped him. Let me go. Zhang Manlin must have been ordered by Hu Xiqian. Mian, I'm not stopping you. I want to go in with you or else he'll bully you. Suyu comforted her gently. Hu Min nodded and followed Suyu into the Hu family mansion. Who are you? Stop right there. The bodyguards were very unfriendly. Tell Hu Xiqian to come see me. What's the matter? One of Hu Xiqian's men walked out. These two people said they want to see President Hu. A few of the new bodyguards reported dumbly. Miss Hu, what brings you here? Everyone who had been by Hu Xiqian's side for a long time knew how important Hu Min was in the Hu family. She was the most important person in the boss's heart. If they didn't take care of her properly, the boss would beat them to a pulp. Therefore the man was very polite to Hu Min. Cut the crap. Tell Hu Xiqian to come see me. Hu Min was going crazy. She was on the verge of breaking down. She couldn't think rationally anymore. Miss Hu, don't be angry. I'll go tell the boss right now. No need. Hu Xiqian appeared at the top of the stairs on the second floor. Hu Xiqian, you're despicable. You said you didn't have my daughters. Then why are they in Zhang Manlin's car? Hu Min was furious. Mian, calm down. Speak slowly. Suyu was heartbroken to see Hu Min go crazy. Little sister Mian, you'll have to ask your husband about that. Zhang Manlin used to work for me, but your husband turned her against me. She's no longer working for me. How would I know what she's doing? Did you just say that the kids are in her car? What's going on? That's new. Hu Xiqian pretended not to know anything. Hu Min hated him to the core. You bastard, how dare you put the blame on Qin Chu? Hu Mian was so angry that she was out of breath. Chapter 2733. Little sister Mian, what are you talking about? I didn't do it, why do you have to push the blame onto me? The kids are in Zhang Manlin's car. But that car is yours. Hu Min roared in agitation. Oh, but when I lent her the car, she only told me that she was going back to her hometown. She didn't say that she was going to kidnap the twins. You? For the first time, Hu Min was at a loss for words. A surge of fire rushed to her head and she felt dizzy. Hu Min's body leaned back, almost falling over. Luckily, Suyu was beside her and he quickly reached out to support Hu Min. Mian, are you okay? Suyu asked worriedly. I'm fine. Suyu, do you like other people's wives? You've taken advantage of her enough. Let go of little sister Mian. Hu Xiqian was extremely jealous. Seeing that Suyu could get close to Hu Min while he could never, he felt very uncomfortable. Fuck off. Hu Xiqian, how dirty are your thoughts? Did I not beat you up enough before? Do you want to see how hard my fists are? Suyu was furious and almost charged over. Don't go over, don't be impulsive. Hu Min pulled Suyu back. She knew that Hu Xiqian had always been cunning, and there were definitely surveillance cameras in the Hu mansion. The two of them were trespassers and if they fought it would be hard to explain. If Hu Xiqian purposely made things difficult for Suyu it would be bad. Hu Xiqian, I'm telling you, if anything happens to my daughters I will not let you off the hook. Hu Min glared at him. Shli. Mion, if you can't love me for the rest of your life, you can hate me for the rest of your life. Hua Xiqian said ambiguously. Huamin was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Let's wait and see. Huamin took a deep breath and dragged Suyu out by the arm. Boss, do we need to send someone to follow them? No, we don't want to alert them. Let's just watch the show quietly. Hua Xiqian smiled slightly and turned to go upstairs. When Hua Mian came out, she covered her mouth and rushed to the side of the road to throw up. Mian, you're not feeling well, let's go to the hospital. Seeing Hua Mian vomit like this, Suyu was scared out of his wits. I'm fine. Hua Min waved his hand. Don't force yourself. Look at you, there must be something wrong with your stomach. Otherwise you wouldn't be vomiting like this. Suyu firmly believed that Hua Min was seriously ill. So he pulled her up and dragged her onto his body. Suyu, no matter what you say you have to go to the hospital. You're a doctor, don't you know what's important? Suyu, I'm really not sick. Hua Min didn't know whether to laugh or cry. If you don't believe me, look at your face, it's as white as a sheet of paper. Scary. You don't listen to Chinchu. He spoils you and doesn't force you, but I can't either. I spoil you, you have to go to the hospital and get an injection. Suyu's attitude was firm. He didn't care if Hua Min was happy or not. He was determined to tie Hua Min up and take him to the hospital. Suyu, I'm not sick, I'm pregnant, Hua Min said in a low voice. Suyu's body shook. Then he looked extremely shocked. What did you say? Suyu was dumbfounded. Chapter 27:34. Suyu, I'm pregnant. You're pregnant? Suyu repeated. Yeah. How long? More than a month ago. Does Chinchu know? After Suyu asked, he realized that if Chinchu knew, he wouldn't let her work so hard. Sure enough, Hua Min shook his head. How can you do this? You're pregnant, why are you still doing this? Do you still want the baby? Suyu questioned angrily. I just can't let go of the pudding and beans. But you can't ignore your body. You're still hiding it from Chinchu. Just wait and see, if he finds out he won't forgive you. So, can you keep it a secret for me? Hua Min whispered. Oh, I'll call him right now. Suyu picked up her phone, but Hua Min snatched it away. No, please don't tell him. Why? Your husband has the right to know, he's the baby's father. Suyu didn't understand why Hua Min was hiding it from Chinchu. Before Hua Min could say anything, Suyu suddenly thought of something and asked, is it because of Zhang Manlin? Do you think Chinchu has a change of heart, so you're angry and don't want to tell him? No, Mr. Qin and I were never angry. We always knew that Zhang Manlin was Hua Xiqian's woman, but we did it on purpose to play along with their act. Then why are you still? Suyu was even more confused. We've been busy lately. Mr. Qin knows that I'm pregnant, so he'll be more distracted. But I have a feeling that Hua Xiqian will be up to something. What if something happens to Mr. Qin because he's distracted? I don't want the tragedy from 4 years ago to happen again. I want to wait until everything settles down before I tell him. But if you don't care about anything, are you sure the child will be fine? Suyu glared at Hua Min. Hua Min rubbed his belly guiltily. My child should be strong. He'll be fine. Bullshit, do you think you're pregnant with Neza? Suyu retorted. Hua Min, anyway, Suyu, don't tell Chinchu yet, okay? At least wait until my daughters come back safely. Forget it. It's your family's business. Do as you please. Suyu couldn't persuade Hua Min. Looking at her pitiful appearance, he couldn't bear to scare her again. After knowing that Hua Min was pregnant, Suyu had mixed feelings. He was both happy and disappointed. As a good friend, he was happy to see Hua Min become a mother again. But seeing the woman he loved carrying another child with the man she loved, it was obvious how close the couple was. He probably would never have the chance to have anything to do with Hua Min again. He was afraid that they would never be friends. Thinking about it made him sad. The municipal bureau finally issued a red wanted notice. Not only did He Yongjun and Shin Jiani appear on the list, but Zhang Manlin also appeared on it. The province issued an emergency warrant. That night, when Shin Mingxi returned home, Hui Yanyan rushed up to him and slapped Hui Yanyan hard across the face. Shin Mingxi, you bastard! Hui Yanyan cursed. How am I a bastard? Shin Mingxi looked at Hui Yanyan coldly. You actually got information from the child and then told Chinchu and Hua Min. Do you want my mother to die? Hui Yanyan roared. Doesn't your mother deserve to die? Shin Mingxi retorted. Chapter 2735. Shin Mingxi, are you a fucking human? She's my mother, my biological mother. So what if she's your biological mother? Look at what she's done. This was the first time Shin Mingxi had lost his temper with Hui Yanyan. My mother did it because she wanted to avenge my brother. She had her reasons, Hui Yanyan yelled. Avenge? He doesn't know what happened, but you do. You should blame Hui Xiqian for your brother's death. What does it have to do with Huamin? I thought you were a little arrogant and spoiled, but at least you're kind-hearted. You didn't do despicable things to achieve your goals like Wei Ying did. Now it seems that I was wrong. Shin Mingxi, what do you mean? Hui Yanyan was still angry and was even more displeased by Shin Mingxi's words. I don't mean anything. I just want to say that your mother shouldn't have kidnapped Qin Chu and Huamin's children. How old are the twins? Yan and your mother too. Remember when Hui Xiqian kidnapped Tian, who helped you save her? You can't be heartless. I'm heartless? You're saying I'm heartless? Hui Yanyan pointed at Shin Mingxi, looking unconvinced. Shin Mingxi looked at her in disappointment and didn't say anything else. Let me tell you, Shin Mingxi. Don't think that you know me very well. How do you know that I didn't beg for mercy? Let me tell you, I said a lot of nice things, but it didn't work. My mother didn't have a choice. She was completely manipulated by He Yongjun. Do you know that He Yongjun is a criminal? He's killed a lot of people. Killing people is as easy as killing an ant for him. Tian and I almost died in his hands. Humans are selfish. I'm not noble enough to sacrifice myself to save Mion's children, Hui Yanyan said confidently. Then what happened after you left? Why didn't you say anything? Why don't you call the police? Shin Mingxi asked. He call the police. Who are they going to capture? Are they trying to kidnap my mother? You want me to place righteousness before family? Hui Yanyan sneered. Even if you don't call the police, you should at least tell Huamin. The whole city is looking for the kids right now. You're the only one who's doing nothing. I noticed that you looked uneasy the day you came back. I tried to ask you a few times, but you always said that you were fine. You even threatened Tian not to tell anyone. I just didn't expect you to use children to get information out of them so that you could rope in Qin Chu and Su Yu. Shin Mingxi, you're despicable and shameless. Hui Yanyan picked up the porcelain on the cabinet beside her and smashed it on the floor to vent her anger. Shin Mingxi felt that Hui Yanyan had become unreasonable. Yanyan, how long have you been with me? Don't you know me? Do you think I would snitch on someone and frame your mother just because I wanted to rope them in? Let me tell you, if something happens to the twins, not only will your mother and that man be smashed to pieces, even you and I won't be able to escape responsibility. Shin Mingxi roared. At the end of the day, you're just afraid of death. Fine, I'm afraid of death. I'm afraid of death. You're good, your whole family is good. First there's your brother, now there's your mother. Sooner or later, you'll walk down this path of no return. You're so stupid. Shin Mingxi cursed Hui Yanyan for being stupid. Chapter 2736. I don't need you to lecture me. I'm not lecturing you, I'm just telling you not to waste your breath on me. The entire city is looking for your mother and He Yongjun. Once they're found, they'll be killed without mercy. Plus, I heard that they don't have the baby anymore. Without a bargaining chip, they're dead meat. Then, without waiting for Hui Yanyan to reply, Shin Mingxi slammed the door and left. It was the first time the two of them had such a huge argument. After Shin Mingxi left, Hui Yanyan finally realized what she had just said. Hui Yanyan immediately turned on her phone and looked at the news on the home page. It turned out that Qin Chu and Huamin's daughter had gone missing. The city had mobilized a lot of police forces to search for her mother and He Yongjun. Even the provincial armed police had arrived. It was a huge scene. If what Shin Mingxi said was true and the child was no longer in her mother's hands, then she had no choice but to die now. At this thought, Hui Yanyan frantically picked up her phone and called her mother, but she couldn't get through. She was so anxious that she finally decided to ask Huamin for help. Huamin and Qin Chu couldn't even go home. Now that the news was out, Huamin's mother and Qin Chu's mother couldn't take the blow and were hospitalized. Old Master Qin was also in poor health and had a professional doctor to take care of him. The Su family was also extremely worried. Lady Su came to the Municipal Public Security Bureau 3 times in one day. Mr. Su was in a meeting in Jing City, but he kept calling Su Yu to ask about the situation. Lord Su was still deploying military strategies in the South Sea, so he didn't know about this yet. The entire city was in chaos and many media outlets were following the news. And how did this happen? Didn't you say you wouldn't call the police? Zhu Lingling cooked at home and brought delicious food to the Municipal Public Security Bureau. It was for Qin Chu, Huamin, Gao Ran and Su Yu. Huamin and Qin Chu had not left the Municipal Bureau office for a day and a night. They had been waiting for news in the command room. It should be Hua Xiqian's doing, Huamin analyzed. What a despicable man. He made such a big scene. No matter who has the children, they'll be in danger. Even a simple-minded person like Zhu Lingling could tell that the situation wasn't optimistic. Haven't you found Zhang Manlin yet? What about the GPS? Su Yu asked. Her phone's GPS has disappeared. I don't know if she knows that she's being tracked or something else. She must have found a way to block the signal so we can't find her. What should we do? Su Yu was worried. Let's eat something first. Otherwise we won't have the strength. I've cooked some vegetables and soup for you guys at home. Zhu Lingling took out the lunch boxes and distributed them to everyone. Lingling, I can't eat. Huamin was depressed. Before Zhu Lingling could say anything, Su Yu scolded, You have to eat even if you can't eat. You have to give it to me. Su Yu's tough attitude shocked everyone. Su Yu could never bear to talk to Huamin like this. Now they didn't know that Huamin was pregnant. Only Su Yu knew. Therefore Su Yu was worried that Huamin wouldn't eat and was really anxious. Qin Chu didn't say anything. He was a very calm person, unlike Su Yu's impatient temper. Therefore he only used his actions to express his feelings. Qin Chu took the lunchbox from Zhu Lingling and slowly opened it. Then he scooped a spoonful of rice with a small spoon and placed it next to Huamin's mouth. Eat a little or you won't be able to hold on, Qin Chu coaxed Huamin. Chapter 27:37. Honey, I really can't eat. Huamin's throat was full of bloody blisters. Even swallowing her saliva was painful, let alone eating. If you don't eat, I'll feed you. Qin Chu tried to scare her. Hey, don't. So many people are watching. Huamin was embarrassed. She was never the kind of person who would flaunt her love in public. So how could she let Qin Chu feed her? Look at them flaunting their love all the time. You should learn from Mr. Gao Ran. Zhu Lingling nudged Gao Ran. If I were that good at picking up girls, I wouldn't have pursued you. I would have pursued Huamin. Gao Ran joked. Hey, I'm talking about you and you're talking back to me. Pursue her if you can right now, Zhu Lingling jokingly scolded. Hey, honey, stop fooling around. I'm starving. Let's see what you've made. Gao Ran opened the food box and wolfed it down. In fact, Zhu Lingling's cooking skills were average and she only made home-cooked dishes. But maybe because everyone was hungry they ate with relish. Only Huamin and Qin Chu ate very little. Qin Chu coaxed Huamin to eat a little and then ate a few mouthfuls of her leftovers. Then he immediately went to the command center to report on Zhang Manlin's whereabouts. After dinner, Huamin went to the washroom. Just as she came back, she heard Gao Ran say, Mian, someone wants to see you. Who? Hui Yanyan, Gao Ran said in a low voice. Her. Great, I wanted to see her. Let her in. Huamin's expression was serious. Gao Ran brought Hui Yanyan to a small interrogation room where Huamin was waiting for her. Mian. Hui Yanyan obviously lacked confidence. Have a seat, Huamin said calmly. When Gao Ran went out, he told the two policemen at the door, keep an eye on the inside. If there's any movement, rush in immediately. Don't let Huamin be in any danger. Understood, Chief. With the chief's orders, the two policemen guarded the entrance tightly. Zhu Lingling delivered the meal and prepared to go home. Gao Ran sent her all the way to the entrance of the municipal bureau. Is Buyun still in a bad mood? Gao Ran asked. You still have the nerve to ask? Isn't it all because of you? Zhu Lingling glared at him. Gao Ran scratched his head guiltily. How would I know that kid has such a fragile heart? Bullshit. If your wife went missing, wouldn't you be worried? Zhu Lingling was angry. But how old is our son? How old is little Bean? That's ridiculous. Gao Ran still thought that even if kids matured early, they wouldn't know how to fall in love at such a young age. We didn't know anything when we were young. We didn't eat well back then. Kids nowadays are given all kinds of supplements and vitamins as soon as they are born. They eat the best food, so it's not strange for them to have high IQ. Go to Buyuan's kindergarten and see that the other kids aren't stupid, okay? Of course, the twins are smarter, but it can't be helped. Their parents have high IQ and good genes. Hey. Drive carefully. Go back and tell your son that little Bean will be back soon. I told him, but he didn't believe me. He's been watching the news all the time. Anyway, you two take care of yourselves. After I'm done with work, I plan to take 3 days off and take you out to play. Really? You mean it? Zhu Lingling put her arms around Gao Ran's neck excitedly. Chapter 2738. Humph, when have I ever lied to you? Your husband is the director of the Municipal Public Security Bureau. Of course he's a man of his word. Don't flatter yourself. Damn it, you promised to take me to the Maldives for our honeymoon when we got married, but you've been so busy. Even the President of the United States has more to do than you. Ahem, I'll definitely fight for it this time. Okay, I'll go now. Take care of yourself and take good care of Mian. Zhu Lingling knew she couldn't help much, so she could only bring lunch to everyone and chat with Huamin when she was free. Inside the interrogation room, Mian, I'm sorry. Hui Yanyan bit her lip. Don't be in such a hurry. I'm sorry, but let me ask you, where are your mom and He Yongjun? Huamin asked. I really don't know. Hui Yanyan looked troubled. You don't know? No way. My daughter went missing because He Yongjun used Tian Tian as bait to lure them away. Otherwise they wouldn't have been caught so easily. It's my fault. That day my mom said she was going to take Tian Tian out to play, and I thought she was her biological granddaughter, so it wouldn't be a problem. I didn't expect her to use Tian Tian as bait. Mian, it wasn't my mom's idea, it was He Yongjun's. He's very powerful and tough. Anyone who doesn't listen to him will die. So, you're going to push all the blame onto He Yongjun? Fine, then let me ask you, who brought He Yongjun here? Huamin looked at Hui Yanyan coldly. Mian, my mom's brain hasn't been normal since her son died. Really, she's not the same as before. Wow, you're even more cunning now. You're using mental illness to talk to me. I'm a doctor, so I know better than you. Are you trying to say that mental illness can't be prosecuted for murder and kidnapping? No, that's not what I meant. I just wanted to say that we've known each other for so many years. You know how important C is to my mom. But I didn't kill Huasi. He deserved it. Why are you taking it out on my child? Why are you taking revenge on me? Huamin was slightly agitated. Right now she really wanted to tear that woman Xinjiani into pieces. Otherwise, it would be hard to get rid of the hatred in her heart. I know. I told my mom, but she wouldn't listen to anything. I think it's all He Yongjun's fault. He's been egging my mom on every day. He even said that she'd ask for a ransom or something. That's why my mom went crazy. Hui Yanyan. He suddenly called out her full name. You didn't come here today just to talk nonsense, did you? Tell me your purpose. Huamin picked up the cup and slowly drank the water. Actually, I know your power. You can use both legal and illegal forces. My child is no longer in my mom's hands. Can you? Before Hui Yanyan could finish her sentence, Huamin flipped the table and threw the cup onto the floor. No, absolutely not, Huamin said agitatedly. Just then the policeman outside rushed in, thinking that Huamin was beaten up by Hui Yanyan. Miss Hua, are you okay? The two policemen were scared out of their wits. I'm fine. You guys can leave now, Huamin said calmly. As soon as the two policemen closed the door, Hui Yanyan knelt on the floor and started crying. Chapter 2739. Hui Yanyan, you're playing this game with me again. Last time when she lost her child and was kidnapped by Huasiqian, she also put on a pitiful act. She really thought that Huamin was a saint. Last time Huamin hesitated for a long time, but in the end he helped her because Hui Yanyan tried her best to save her child when Huasi kidnapped her. At the end of the day, Huamin was someone who didn't want to owe anyone a favor, so in the end he still paid her back. Although she didn't want to see Huasiqian alone, she still went. Now that Hui Yanyan was kneeling down, Huamin's mood was no longer the same as before. Mian, I'm begging you, I'm kowtowing to you. I'm begging you, please show mercy and let my mom go, okay? It was really He Yongjun's idea, my mom was just an accomplice. Even if she has to go to jail, can you please not let her die? She's really my last family member in this world, I don't want to lose her, I'm begging you. Then Hui Yanyan kowtowed to Huamin, each time louder than the last, until her forehead turned red. In the surveillance room, Gao Ran, Qin Chu, and Suyu stood in a row, quietly watching the situation in the interrogation room. To be honest, I really want to kill Hui Yanyan as well. No wonder Shin Mingxi was so infatuated with her. I can see now that she's a high-level scheming bitch. I thought she'd become a good person, Suyu sighed. What's changed? She's always been like that. We've known each other since we were young. Back then she used the fact that she was Huamin's daughter and bullied him again and again. The good thing is that Huamin never spoiled her and always talked back to her until she had nothing to say. She and her brother are really born from the same mother, they're both so annoying. Chu, do you think Mian will really let that evil woman go because she's soft-hearted? Gao Ran was also worried. After all, women were soft-hearted. Seeing Hui Yanyan cry and howl like this, it was inevitable that they would make up for it. Damn it, even if Mian forgives her, I won't agree to it. I'll definitely do something behind her back and kill that Xinjiani. Pudding and Little Bean were his treasures and he would never forgive the people who kidnapped them no matter who they were. Mian won't do that. From the beginning to the end, Qin Chu only said one sentence. He knew Huamin's personality too well. Su Yu, on the other hand, didn't know what to think because he knew that Huamin was pregnant. They all said that pregnant women were easily agitated, soft-hearted, and sensitive. Maybe Huamin really couldn't bear to let Hui Yanyan's damned mother go. The three men guessed and tried to figure out Huamin's thoughts. Mr. Qin quietly watched his wife through the surveillance camera, his eyes gentle. She was the only one who understood his Mian the best. Huamin's love for her children was no less than her love for Qin Chu. It was the reverse scale of a dragon, and anyone who touched it would be infuriated. To Huamin, Qin Chu and her children were her bottom line. No matter who touched it, they would die without a doubt. You asked me to be merciful and let your mother go, but when your mother kidnapped my children, why didn't you ask her to be merciful? I begged her, but she didn't agree. I really begged her, Mian. That's easy. You begged her too, but I didn't agree either. Mian. Hearing Huamin's quick rejection, Hui Yanyan was a little flustered. Chapter 2740. Mian, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I'll apologize to you 1,000 times on behalf of my mom, no 10,000 times. Hui Yanyan seemed to want to fight for one last chance for her mother. Don't apologize to me. Sorry can only bring you peace of mind, not relief for me. Huamin glanced at Hui Yanyan coldly. Mian, you're a mother too. You can't be so heartless. You're wrong. It's because I'm a mother that I have to stand up and seek justice for my child. I, Huamin, am not a saint or a bodhisattva. I don't have the magnanimity to save all living things. I only know that no matter who hurt the person I love the most, I will make her die a horrible death. No one can change that, not even you. Huamin had made it clear that there was no way he could forgive her. Hui Yanyan, you're up. I can only say that if you leave now and don't get involved in this, then I'll ask my husband not to punish you. After all, you're with Shin Mingxi now, not with your mother for a long time. But if you insist on getting involved and helping your mother, then I'm sorry, but from now on, we can only be enemies. You know how I deal with my enemies. Then Huamin glanced at Hui Yanyan with a cold smile and turned to leave. With a slam, the door to the interrogation room slammed shut. Hui Yanyan fell to the ground wanting to cry, but no tears came out. Huamin's intentions were clear. She didn't expect Huamin, who had always seemed so nice, to be so heartless this time. It seemed like there was no other way. Did she really have to let her mother die? In the surveillance room, Su Yu and Gao Ran watched with burning passion. Holy shit, my Mian is a golden sentence. I'm sorry can only make you feel at ease, not me. You said it so well. Gao Ran excitedly took out his phone to copy a memo. Yes. Well said. Look at Hui Yanyan's expression. Is she stupid? Su Yu was also very excited. The more he understood Huamin, the more he was attracted to her personality. She had never been a saint, much less a Mary Sue. She had never wanted to be labeled as a good person. In this life she would only do what she liked, only love the people she loved deeply, and be the truest version of herself. That was enough. In the lounge of the municipal bureau, Qin Chu poured a glass of warm water, opened the door and walked in. Honey, is there any news? Huamin stood up immediately. Don't worry, it'll be here soon. We'll split into two groups. One group will surround Xinjiani and the other will go after Zhang Manlin. The child will be fine, don't worry. Qin Chu believed that the child would be safe in Zhang Manlin's hands. Honey, I'm scared. I'm scared of Pudding and Little Bean. Huamin was so anxious that she couldn't speak. Qin Chu picked her up and placed her on his lap. He comforted her in a low voice. Honey, you're smart. You should know that Shinjiani and Hee Youngjun are outlaws. They want the child for revenge and ransom. The child's life will be in danger at any time. Huamin nodded. But Zhang Manlin is different. She doesn't have a deep grudge against us. Her goal isn't the ransom, so the child will be safe. But Zhang Manlin is Hua Xiqian's woman, Huamin said anxiously. No, she's not Hua Xiqian's woman anymore. Her heart has been shaken. She's no longer under Hua Xiqian's control. After Qin Chu said this, Huamin was slightly shocked. Honey, you're not in a relationship with Zhang Manlin, are you? Huamin stared at Qin Chu and asked seriously. Chapter 2741. Qin Chu was speechless. Honey, if you talk like this, you won't have any friends. Mr. Qin said seriously. Huamin chuckled at his cute side. How can you still laugh? Is it fun to slander your husband? Mr. Qin was depressed. No, I'm just kidding, it's not fun at all. Mr. Qin was still upset. Hey, we've been too tense these days. Hearing you say that, I feel much better. Since the kids are in Zhang Manlin's hands, they should be safe. Plus, I think, Huamin paused deliberately. What do you think? Qin Chu didn't understand what his wife wanted to say. I think with Zhang Manlin's IQ, she'll be destroyed if she's with Pudding and Little Bean. Huamin said optimistically. That's very possible. Qin Chu strongly agreed. The twins were small and weak, but ordinary adults' brains couldn't keep up with their active thinking. When the children come back this time, I have to take precautions. How? More bodyguards? Huamin guessed Qin Chu's intention. No matter how many bodyguards we have, they'll have to rely on themselves if they're in danger. I'll have to hire a karate master for them. They'll have to train from a young age. That's a good idea, but won't it be too tiring? Huamin cared about his daughters. It's okay as long as they don't get into trouble again. Yeah, you have to train with them too. Mr. Qin, what does that have to do with me? Huamin looked innocent. I'll worry about you too. You're not good at fighting. But I have anesthetic needles. I'm a doctor. That won't work. Anesthetic needles won't work against people like Ian, Qin Chu said. Then karate is useless. Why don't you teach me how to use an AK-47? Huamin talked nonsense with a straight face. That's a good idea. Huamin was speechless at Mr. Qin's response. Mian, do you know who's the strongest solo fighter I've ever seen? Qin Chu suddenly asked. Are there any rewards for guessing correctly? Huamin smiled sweetly. Yes. It must be my little Yen, Huamin said. How smart. Qin Chu nodded. I got it right away. That girl comes and goes like a shadow. Even someone like Ian couldn't catch her even after years of trying. You can see how strong she is. Yeah. When I was doing my research in the US, I found a video of Lu Yen at West Point. She fought barehanded. She was so thin and weak, but she could fight 7 people at once. Those 7 people weren't ordinary people. They were all her classmates at West Point. 2 of them were even Muay Thai champions and karate champions. Wow, she's that strong. Huamin always knew that Lu Yen was a legendary girl. Although she didn't know much about the world of assassins and mercenaries, she knew that Lu Yen must be very strong after hearing Qin Chu's words. Qin Chu rarely complimented others, but this sister-in-law of his was indeed very strong. Yeah, I have to say that your family has strong genes. To be exact, Professor Lu and Dr. Linya have strong genes. Dr. Linya. He's my mother. But Yen and Dad don't want to talk about her. I really want to see her, Huamin said in a low voice. I did some research, Qin Chu said seriously. Oh. What did you find? Huamin's eyes lit up. Chapter 2742. She wanted to know more about her mother from Qin Chu. Unfortunately, other than finding out that she mysteriously disappeared back then, we couldn't find anything else. Hearing Qin Chu's words, Huamin was slightly disappointed. But I'm sure of one thing. What is it? Huamin raised his head and looked into Qin Chu's deep eyes. Your father, Professor Lu, must have something that Ian really wants. That's why he's been trying so hard to kill Lu Yen and find you all these years. Yeah, I think so too. Huamin agreed with Qin Chu. Professor Lu is not only a highly skilled doctor, but he's also operated on many heads of state. I heard that the President of the United Nations once appointed him as his personal doctor, but he refused, Qin Chu said. Freedom is priceless. Huamin had only met his father a few times, but he knew what his father was thinking. Yes, the professor prefers freedom. But since it's related to medicine, I guess what Ian wants must be very powerful and can even threaten the whole human race. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been so persistent in chasing after Lu Yen and the professor all these years. If I have the chance, I'll ask them. I wonder how Yen is doing. I miss her so much. Ever since Huamin found out that he had a sister, he missed her from time to time. Lu Yen, on the other hand, was elusive and rarely called Huamian. Meanwhile, outside an ice cave on Iceland, Lu Yen was wearing a white fur coat, looking like an elf from the Ice Kingdom. Qiao Fei stood beside her. He was also wearing a white mink fur coat and didn't say a word. Lu Yen stood there quietly, looking at the cave in front of her with a gloomy expression. You should go in and see her, Qiao Fei said. No, it's better this way. I don't want to disturb her sleep. Lu Yen's tone was unusually gentle. Do you and Uncle Lu come every year? My father used to come every year, but in the past 2 years, that pervert Ian has been chasing after him. My father was afraid that he would expose my mother's resting place, so he endured the pain and didn't come. So that's how it is. Sorry to trouble you, Uncle Lu. Yeah. Dad looks like an emotionless block of wood, but he loves me a lot. Otherwise, with Dad's current status, he could afford to have a harem of 3,000 women, Lu Yen said. Ahem, are you sure you're not slandering your parents? Qiao Fei was speechless. He's used to it. Fine, you win. But Yen, I'm really curious. Will Auntie wake up? Is he brain dead? Qiao Fei asked. He knew Lu Yen rarely talked about her mother, Dr. Linya. The professor also rarely mentioned it. This seemed to be a taboo topic for the father and daughter. Hearing his question, tears welled up in Lu Yen's eyes. She'll wake up. Yes, that's right. That's what Dad said. Did Auntie become like this because of her enemies? Qiao Fei was curious. No, she became like this herself. Lu Yen bit her lips. Oh. How did she? Qiao Fei was surprised. Okay, asshole Qiao, you've asked enough questions. If it weren't for the fact that you're a fugitive with me, I wouldn't waste my time talking to you. Remember to keep it a secret for me. If you leak it out, I'll kill you. Lu Yen tilted her head and smiled at Qiao Fei. So, Lu Yen, are you threatening me? Qiao Fei looked at Lu Yen with a smile. Chapter 2743. Yeah, I'm threatening you. What are you going to do? Bite me? Lu Yen said arrogantly. She thought Qiao Fei wouldn't do anything to her since he was such a cold person. But to her surprise, Qiao Fei bit Lu Yen's lips. To be exact, he nibbled on her lips. Psycho Qiao, what are you doing? You're really biting me. You. Woo. Lu Yen pushed Qiao Fei away and fell on top of him again. The glaciers in Iceland were covered in snow all year round. The two of them rolled around in the snow, creating quite a scene. 5 minutes later, damn it. I'm almost out of breath. Lu Yen pushed Qiao Fei away and gasped for air. Yen, let's go to Las Vegas, okay? Wait. How many rounds do you want to play? No. We're going to register our marriage. What? Lu Yen was shocked again. She almost choked and passed out. You have a fever. What are you talking about? Lu Yen stuttered, obviously lacking in confidence. I don't have a fever. I'm serious. We'll be together forever. Why don't we register? Lu Yen was speechless and didn't know what to say. As for the wedding, we'll make up for it later. When we have the chance to go back to China, we can hold it together with Sis and the others. As far as I know, Sis and brother-in-law haven't held a wedding yet, right? My sister hasn't had a wedding either. So, do you want to marry me? You don't have anything. How can you propose to me like this? Lu Yen was exasperated and amused. Qiao Fei glanced at Lu Yen indifferently and said confidently, yeah. I don't have anything. I'm with you every day, eating your food, drinking your water, living in your house and using your money. Would you marry a man who lives off you? How dare you say that? Shame on you. Lu Yen burst into laughter. Cut the crap. Do you want to marry me or not? Qiao Fei asked directly. Do you want to fight with me? If you win, I'll marry you. If you lose, get the hell out of my way. Lu Yen said crudely. Boring. Qiao Fei got up from the ground in disdain. He shook the snow off his clothes and ignored Lu Yen. The two of them didn't mention the registration in Las Vegas either. Lu Yen had arranged for people to protect Huamin and the baby in China, But now the baby was missing. Lu Yan's subordinate reported to his master anxiously but couldn't reach Lu Yan. Every time she came to Iceland to visit her mother in the ice cave, Lu Yan didn't bring any communication devices with her. She was afraid that Ian would take advantage of the situation and fail to catch her or find her father. Therefore, she had been racking her brains to find her mother's body. In order to prevent her whereabouts from being leaked, Lu Yan had isolated herself from the world and didn't know that the baby was missing. In China, Suyu's private villa, I know. Don't worry about it. I believe the child will be back soon. After Suyu hung up the phone with his mother, he let out a long sigh and closed his eyes to rest. The past few days had been torturous for him. He couldn't even eat or drink properly. Just then the doorbell rang. Thinking it was Tang Chuan, he went to open the door and cursed, "Can't you fucking let me have a good night's sleep?" But when he opened the door and saw the person in front of him, Suyu froze. Why are you here? Chapter 2744. President Su. Nie Lingxian was wearing an elegant dark gray dress and a black leather jacket. Her long hair was curled up slightly. She was the most popular actress in Imperial Star Entertainment. However, she was the most low-key one. No matter how popular she was, she never showed her impulsiveness. "Come in. Don't just stand there." Suyu opened the door and let Nie Lingxian in. He asked half-jokingly, "You didn't ask the media to follow you, right?" Zhao Qingya and Jian Tong had both used this method to expose their intimate relationship with Suyu. But the truth was, Suyu hadn't even admitted it. This was a desperate method used by some women who were eager to climb up the social ladder. But Nie Lingxian was stunned by Suyu's question. Obviously she didn't do that. When Suyu asked her, she was startled. "It's okay. I'm just kidding," Suyu said casually. Nie Lingxian came in and put the fruit in her hand on the coffee table. "President Su, I heard about the twins. You like them very much and must be worried sick. I know you can't eat anything, so I didn't buy anything. When I passed by a fruit stall, I bought some fruit." "Thank you," Suyu said as he went to the fridge and took out a can of Coke for Nie Lingxian. "You haven't been out shooting recently?" Suyu didn't go to the company and didn't pay much attention to the artists' schedules. "I just finished one. I'm taking a break." "Oh, good." Suyu nodded and took out his cell phone to check the WeChat group. They were talking about the kids. Jiang Xiaowei said that Wei Yunchu was depressed and that his son would be lovesick if he couldn't find pudding. Zhu Lingling said that Gao Ran blamed his father's incompetence for not finding pudding. He didn't even let his father come home for dinner. Gao Ran wanted to cry but had no tears. After reading it, Suyu sent a laughing emoji. "President Su, have you had dinner?" Nie Lingxian looked at Suyu's face and asked carefully. "No, I'm not hungry." Suyu answered neatly. "Do you have any ingredients at home? I'll make you something to eat." "Don't bother. I'm hungry. I can order takeout anytime. It's not good to eat too much takeout. Let me do it. I have nothing to do anyway." Then Nie Lingxian stood up and walked to the fridge. She opened the fridge and found it empty. Finally, she found a packet of instant noodles, a piece of bacon and ham. Then she quietly walked into the kitchen. In front of Suyu, Nie Lingxian didn't have much of a presence. Suyu was still playing with his phone, almost forgetting her existence. It wasn't until a plate of noodles was served that Suyu smelled the fragrance and came back to his senses. "What is this?" "Stir-fried instant noodles." "You can stir-fry instant noodles?" Suyu's face was filled with disbelief. A long time ago, when Tang Chuan came over, he was hungry in the middle of the night and asked the supermarket downstairs to deliver instant noodles to him. He ate out most of the time and didn't like instant noodles. To his surprise, the bowl of instant noodles looked appetizing after being cooked by Nie Lingxian. "Please try it. I learned it from my mom. My sister and I both love it." Nie Lingxian smiled. Suyu nodded. He picked up his chopsticks and took a big bite. "How is it, President Su?" Not bad." Suyu nodded and continued eating. "Deep in the mountains." Then she looked at Zhang Manlin coldly and asked, "How long until we reach Qinghe town?" Chapter 2745. Almost there, almost there. Although Zhang Manlin said that she had been thinking about how to hide the twins, she didn't know that she would be captured by Huasiqian as soon as she arrived at Qinghe town. He was still thinking about what to do. She had made a deal with the twins and thought that she would be able to go to Chinchu soon. She had helped Chinchu save the kids and was supposed to be a great hero. But now she was a wanted criminal. That way Zhang Manlin wouldn't be able to send the twins back safely. However, the twins didn't know about it yet. Seeing that Qinghe town was not far away, Zhang Manlin slowed down the car. What's going on? What are you up to now? Little Bean didn't believe Zhang Manlin at all. She didn't think that a woman who had been tortured by her would be so kind as to send them back. The car doesn't have much gas left. We need to find a gas station. I saw one on the map just now, so we have to slow down. Zhang Manlin found an excuse. Little Bean wanted to say something but was stopped by Pudding. Pudding shook her head at her, indicating that she shouldn't say too much. Seeing her sister's reaction, Little Bean swallowed her words back. But she was still very unhappy with Zhang Manlin. Just as Zhang Manlin was about to turn into the other side of the road to get gas, a big truck suddenly appeared in the middle of the road in front of her. What's the meaning of this? Zhang Manlin cursed. She frowned and wanted to get out of the car to check it out. Just then she saw 3 men walk out from behind the truck. Each of them had a long machete in their hands. Zhang Manlin, you bitch. You got people to set us up. Little Bean cursed at Zhang Manlin. She thought that Zhang Manlin had teamed up with others to set this up. It wasn't me. I don't know what's going on. Zhang Manlin was confused. Sit tight. They might be robbers. I'll reverse first. Seeing that there was no way out, Zhang Manlin decided to reverse and run. Don't. Look behind you, Pudding reminded him calmly. Zhang Manlin turned around and saw that there were 2 black cars behind her. Both of them were from bad brands. However, there was a car blocking her way, so she couldn't go over. What should we do? What should we do? We're dead meat. Zhang Manlin was so scared that her face turned pale. She couldn't even control her limbs. What's there to think about? Run into them. Even if we have to kill them, we have to run into them. Otherwise, we're all done for. Little Bean shouted. Oh, we can't get through. Look at the road on both sides. There are rows of nails. The tires will burst. Pudding carefully looked in the rearview mirror. Looks like they came prepared. Little Bean nodded and stopped thinking about running. Bitch, get out of the car, the man in the front shouted. This was a group of ferocious-looking guys. Including the leader, there were a total of 6 people, all of whom were burly men from the mountains. Not only were the twins scared, even Zhang Manlin was about to pee her pants. Who are you? Did Big Brother Qian send you? Zhang Manlin naively thought that they were Hu Xiqian's men. Chapter 2746. What Big Brother Qian? What nonsense are you talking about? I'm your big brother, hi. The man opened the car door and dragged Zhang Manlin out of the car. Ah! Zhang Manlin fell to the ground, her face pale with fear. Search. This is a Mercedes-Benz. He must be rich. Search it carefully. Don't miss a single cent, the leader, Big Brother Hai, ordered, and the lackeys behind him immediately opened the car door. However, they were shocked by the twins in the back seat. Big Brother, we found something. What did you find? There are 2 children here. The lackeys looked at the twins in confusion. The man called Big Brother Hai walked over and opened the car door. The twins were looking at them with their big, cute eyes. The 2 children weren't as flustered as usual. They weren't scared to the point of crying. They looked out of the car window calmly. Pudding and Little Bean stared into the eyes of the criminals. These 2 children are so cute. Is that your mother? Pointing at Zhang Manlin, Big Brother Hai asked the twins. She's your mother, Little Bean immediately retorted. God knew how much she hated Zhang Manlin. How could such a flirtatious bitch be compared to her mother, Huamin? Big Brother, she's insulting you. The lackeys reacted and immediately reminded Big Brother Hai. Pudding thought that the man would be angry after Little Bean insulted him. Unexpectedly, the man laughed out loud. This child has the aura of a bandit. I like her. He's like my daughter. Okay, stop talking nonsense. Take them all away. Big Brother, this car is very valuable. It's worth more than 500,000 yuan. Let's take it too. The lackeys looked at the black Mercedes-Benz with shining eyes. Are you fucking stupid? How many times have I told you the more luxurious the car is, the more you can't take it away? This thing is very advanced. It's full of high-tech and has GPS. Do you want to get us killed? Yes, Big Brother is right. You guys hurry up and take away all the valuables. Then take the women and children with you. Just like that, Zhang Manlin and the twins were taken away by the criminals who came out of nowhere. The Mercedes-Benz was left on a mountain road not far from Qinghe town. Hua Xiqian's men waited for a long time, but they still didn't see the Mercedes-Benz. In the end, Qing ordered them to expand their search area. Inside the Hua mansion, Hua Xiqian was sitting in the living room, drinking tea with a leisurely expression. Boss, bad news. Speak. Zhang Manlin is gone and so are the two kids. What do you mean? Hua Xiqian put down his teacup and slowly raised his head. Didn't you tell us to wait for Zhang Manlin in Qinghe town? Once Zhang Manlin arrived, we were to tie her up. But she didn't enter Qinghe town. I sent people to look for her, but all we found was the car. She and the kids were gone, Qing said. Gone? Hua Xiqian raised his eyebrows slightly. Boss, do you think Zhang Manlin knew that we were going to deal with her so she ran away? Or did she really betray us and want to hand them over to Qin Chu? No, Zhang Manlin wouldn't have the guts to do that. She's a wanted criminal now, and it's impossible for her to hand them over to Qin Chu. She'll die anyway. Then why is she gone? Search the town and the surrounding villages carefully. I think she might be hiding, Hua Xiqian said. Yes, we'll search immediately. Deep in the mountains in the bandits' lair. Look, this place. Little Bean raised her finger and pointed outside the car window. When Pudding looked over, she was also slightly shocked. Chapter 2747. Hearing Little Bean's words, Pudding immediately looked up. There was such a magical place in the depths of the mountain. This was the kind of bandit den that was often shown in TV shows. The architecture was not simple at all. It even had a Chinese style. Sis, this is a bandit den? Little Bean exclaimed. What else? Do you think it's Disney? Pudding said. Little Bean no longer knew fear. Instead, her eyes were attracted by the architecture. In the depths of the mountain there was a small wooden second floor. It was exquisite and elegant, clean inside and out. People who didn't know would think it was a tourist attraction. The funny thing was that there were two small wooden turrets at the entrance. Big brother, you're just robbing. Let us go. You took what you wanted. I still have some money. Here, it's all yours. Then Zhang Manlin took out the tens of thousands of yuan in cash she had with her. She wanted to go back to her hometown to show off, but she ran into this. Big brother, look. This girl is rich. She has tens of thousands of yuan with her. We're rich. The subordinate took the cash and immediately handed it to the leader with a fawning smile. The man named Big Brother Hai took the money and weighed it in his hand. He smiled and said, I've been dreaming about a big red coffin these days. I knew it. We're really going to get a big job. Of course, Big Brother. Coffin. Promotion and wealth. I told you it was a good thing. The subordinate was also busy sucking up. Doesn't coffin mean we're going to die? Why is it wealth? Little Bean said innocently. Her words made the kidnappers' faces darken. Little kid, what do you know? Hey, don't lower yourself to the kid's level. She's just a kid. The man named Big Brother Hai was in a good mood and forgave Little Bean's unintentional words. Little Bean, don't talk. We'll play it by ear. Sis, are we going to die here? Little Bean asked worriedly. No, I have a feeling that if we don't run into them, Zhang Manlin won't be able to safely send us to Daddy. So, since it's already like this, we can rest assured. Pudding lowered her voice and kept telling her sister what to do. You two are so noisy, stop mumbling. The kidnapper snorted impatiently. Big brother, I'm really not a rich girl. My car was borrowed. Please let me go. Zhang Manlin's heart sank when she saw the kidnappers. Who are you trying to fool? If you're not rich, why do you drive a Mercedes-Benz and bring so much cash? No, I'm really not rich. I work for someone else. My boss is Hua Xiqian. He's very famous in Sea City. In order to protect herself, Zhang Manlin immediately brought up Hua Xiqian in an attempt to suppress the kidnappers. Hua Xiqian? The man called Big Brother Hai looked at Zhang Manlin in confusion. Yes. He's the boss of the Hua Corporation. He's the boss. I'm just an errand girl. Please don't make things difficult for me. Zhang Manlin pretended to be pitiful. What do you mean by Hua Xiqian or Hua Sivan? I don't know him. Big Brother Hai waved his hand. Zhang Manlin wanted to say more. But the man beside her slapped her across the face. Bitch, shut up. My big brother thinks you're too noisy. Do you understand? Chapter 2748. A merciless slap landed on Zhang Manlin's face. Zhang Manlin was dizzy from the impact. She didn't dare to say anything else. Just like that, the twins and Zhang Manlin were kidnapped by a group of mountain bandits and taken deep into the mountains. On the other hand, Sea City was in chaos looking for the kids. "Honey, is there any news?" Huamin asked anxiously. "Yes, there is." "Where are the kids?" Huamin cried tears of joy. "We've tracked down Xinjiani and He Yongjun's location. They're in the mountains near Taoyuan village. I'll take a helicopter there tonight with Gao Ran and some special forces to hunt them down." "But the kids aren't with them." Huamin froze. "Yes, but they have to pay the price." "What about the kids? Where are our daughters?" According to the people in Taoyuan village, there's a man who claims to be Zhang Manlin's cousin. He said that Zhang Manlin walked along the mountain path. There are very few villages in the mountains and even fewer towns. According to the number of days and kilometers, Zhang Manlin should arrive at Qinghe town soon. We've already contacted the police there to set up obstacles to stop her. Reinforcements are also on their way. Zhang Manlin is different from He Yongjun and the others. She doesn't have a weapon. So, we'll see Pudding and Little Bean in Qinghe town soon? Huamian was overjoyed. "If I'm not mistaken, yes." Qin Chu nodded. "Honey, I called Jixin. You go home and rest. I'll go hunt down He Yongjun and Xinjiani. Once I'm done, I'll go to Qinghe town to pick them up." "Oh, I want to go with you." "No, it's too far away. It's too bumpy," Qin Chu refused. "No, if you don't let me go with you, then I'll go to Qinghe town and wait for them." Huamin was stubborn. In the end, Qin Chu had no choice. He was worried about Huamin going to Qinghe town alone, so he took her to the helicopter and rushed to the mountainous area of Peach Blossom Village. "Huamin, you're going too?" Gao Ran was surprised to see Huamin. "Yes." "Will it work?" "As far as I know, He Yongjun is not a kind person. He has guns and explosives in his hands. He is an extremely vicious person. It will be dangerous for us. Is it appropriate for you to come with us?" Gao Ran was also thinking about Huamin's safety. "Perfect," Huamian replied with 2 words. Gao Ran was speechless. "It's fine. Let her come along. I can take care of her at any time." In order to take care of Huamin's feelings, Qin Chu didn't have the heart to refuse. He took Huamin with him to the helicopter. On the TV, the female anchor reported, "According to the latest news, the Municipal Bureau has sent out a helicopter to catch the kidnappers. They are said to be escaping into the mountains of Peach Blossom Village. This time the Municipal Bureau Chief, Gao Ran, is personally guiding them. The parents of the children are also involved. We are looking forward to the news of their children's safe return." Seeing this, Hui Yanyan smashed the remote control on the TV. "Mommy, what's wrong?" Tian Tian was scared out of her wits. "Tian Tian, I told you not to tell anyone about Grandma. How could you not remember?" Hui Yanyan vented her anger on her daughter. "But Uncle Shin is not just anyone. He is a person like Daddy," Tian Tian replied in a weak voice. "Did you see that? You are not as humane as a child." Shin Mingxi opened the door and walked in. He heard the conversation between the mother and daughter. Chapter 2749. "Shin Mingxi, what do you mean? You lied to my daughter and you think you're in the right?" Hui Yanyan was also furious. "I didn't lie to her. Tiantian was telling the truth. I'm telling you, if anything happens to my mom, I won't forgive you." "Hui Yanyan, you have to understand that you're living in my house, eating my food, wearing my clothes and using my money. So what? Do you think I'll sleep with you for free? Prostitutes have to pay. Even if I charge 500 yuan per session, I'm worth the price." Hui Yanyan was eloquent. Shin Mingxi glanced at her in disappointment. "Hui Yanyan, you disappoint me." Then he turned to leave. He had fallen in love with Hui Yanyan because she didn't fight back when Wei Ying bullied her. What was the difference between her forbearance and kindness when she was a crazy woman and Wei Ying when she was young? "Shin Mingxi, stop right there." Hui Yanyan rushed up and blocked Shin Mingxi's way. "Get out of my way. I'm not in the mood to argue with you." Shin Mingxi glanced at her in disgust. "If I get out of your way, you can go find another woman, right?" Hui Yanyan's attitude was firm. "Hui Yanyan, I didn't know you had such a despicable side." "Haha, it's not too late." It's not too late for you to find out. I know you all like women like Huamian. I'm born to be cheap and deserve to die." She does all the good things and does all the good things while I'm in the wrong. You don't know how cruel Hui Mian is. I knelt down but she still wouldn't let my mother go. Hui Yanyan said as tears rolled down her cheeks. Furious, Shen Mingxi grabbed Hui Yanyan by the collar and scolded, Hui Yanyan, are you kidding me? Your mother kidnapped someone else's child. If your child was kidnapped, wouldn't you be worried? I realize that you can't tell right from wrong. If your mother were to commit murder and arson, would you follow her? You said she's nice too. Shen Mingxi realized that Hui Yanyan and Hui Si were basically the same. He wondered what kind of education Shen Jiani received. He was already an adult, yet he still had no sense of right and wrong. He stubbornly believed that he was right. What kind of logic was this to think that it was the other person's fault for not forgiving her? Who doesn't make mistakes their whole life? My mom was just confused for a moment. Hui Yanyan was still trying to defend herself. Your mom wasn't confused for a moment. It was premeditated and vicious. Hui Yanyan, if you continue to be confused, you and your mom will end up the same way. Hui Min and Qin Chu are already at Tao Yuan village. Your mom and that man are dead for sure. You better pray for yourself. Then Shen Mingxi violently pushed Hui Yanyan to the ground. Then he opened the door and left. Mommy, please don't fight with Uncle Shen. Tian Tian is scared. The child was so scared that she kept crying. Hui Yanyan sat on the ground and cried like a madwoman. She only thought that her mother was her last family in this world. Therefore she ignored the fact that she had broken the law. She also didn't realize that she and her child had been used by Shen Jiani and He Yongjun. Su Yu's private mansion. After Su Yu finished his noodles, he saw that it was getting late. Just as he was about to walk Nie Lingxian out, he bumped into Tang Chuan and Qin Ning. Wow, what's going on? What are you two doing? Tang Chuan smiled evilly. Chapter 2750. Ahem, don't misunderstand, Su Yu quickly explained. What do you mean misunderstand? We didn't say anything. Lord Su, why are you in such a hurry? Tang Chuan teased him. Don't bullshit. Su Yu knew that Tang Chuan loved to watch a show. Are we bothering you? Qin Ning hid behind Tang Chuan and smirked. Qin Ning, you've become naughty. Su Yu scolded Qin Ning like an uncle. Ah, men love naughty women. My Ning is becoming more and more like me. You guys talk, President Su. I'm leaving. Nie Lingxian blushed and was about to leave. Hey superstar, don't be in such a hurry to leave. Stay a little longer, Tang Chuan teased. No, I won't disturb you guys. Then Nie Lingxian walked towards a red Porsche 918 parked on the side of the road. The bodyguard's car immediately followed and escorted Nie Lingxian away. You're probably going to be in the newspaper again tomorrow. Your company's female artists love to play this game and chase after the boss. Tang Chuan said to Su Yu. I don't think so. Su Yu trusted Nie Lingxian. Wow, good reviews. Sup? Are you two together? Bullshit, don't guess. There's nothing between us. If there's nothing between us, why are we here in the middle of the night? Eating sunflower seeds. Fuck off. Su Yu knew that Tang Chuan was teasing him, so he immediately retorted. Okay, I'll stop teasing you. By the way, we're here to ask you if you're going to Taoyuan village or Qinghe town. Pick one. What do you mean? Su Yu didn't seem to have received the latest news. My brother has already found out where Shen Jiani and He Yongjun are. He, my sister-in-law, and Gao Ran have already gone after them. Then, we also found out that Zhang Manlin should be arriving at Qinghe town soon. If it's confirmed that the child was taken by Zhang Manlin, we should be able to stop them in Qinghe town. Of course we're going to Qinghe town. I'm going to pick up the twins. Su Yu couldn't wait any longer. Yes, that's what my brother thinks too. That's why he and sister-in-law went after the bad guys. They asked the three of us to go to Qinghe town to pick up the children. Let's go then. Just like that. Tang Chuan asked. You're not driving? Su Yu was stunned. Driving is so fucking slow. Hurry up and tell the military to get a military helicopter over. That's the way to go. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so busy that I'm confused. Upon hearing Tang Chuan's words, Su Yu immediately called the military. The grandson of the chief was indeed very influential. In less than 20 minutes, the helicopter was ready. Su Yu, Tang Chuan, Qin Ning, and Su Yu's personal assistant, and boarded the helicopter and headed directly to Qinghe town. Meanwhile, in the mountain village, the men looked at Zhang Manlin, drooling. Big brother, are you sure you don't want to keep this woman for yourself? One of the henchmen asked. I don't like this kind of woman. Look at that nose, it's shining under the light. It's obviously fake. I don't like plastic surgery. I prefer Lu area from Wong Village. He's pretty. The man called Big Brother Hai was obviously not very satisfied with Zhang Manlin. Big brother, if you say so, then we won't hold back. We'll take turns. Hee hee. Wow, are they going to take turns with Zhang Manlin? Little Bean asked her sister secretly with her eyes wide open. Think so. Pudding nodded. That's good news. This woman deserves it. Little Bean snickered. Big brothers, please. Zhang Manlin was scared out of her wits. She was still fantasizing about using her virginity to seduce Qin Chu. She didn't want to be tainted by these hillbillies. Chapter 2751. Help. Someone help me. Zhang Manlin screamed at the top of her lungs. Little girl, in the depths of this mountain, even if you shout until your throat breaks, no one will come to save you. Ha, even the people from the Public Security Bureau will get lost when they come in. The man called Brother Hai was obviously very confident in his nest. Big brother, I've given you my money. Please don't violate me. Zhang Manlin pretended to be pitiful. No way, we haven't gone down the mountain in a long time and we haven't tasted a woman in a long time. Today we'll start with you. Then one of the men reached out and took off Zhang Manlin's jacket. She stepped back desperately and pointed at the two children not far away. They're girls too. Go find them. Fuck, is Zhang Manlin crazy? Little Bean was furious. She's shameless to the extreme. How dare she have designs on us? Pudding was also very angry. Are you crazy? Those two children are only 3 or 4 years old. How can we do that? We're not perverts. We're not pedophiles. Sai, you're a vicious woman. One of the men looked at Zhang Manlin with disdain, thinking that she was a bad person. I had a way to save her, but I wouldn't save her even if I were beaten to death, Pudding said in a low voice. Sis, are you kidding? We can't even save ourselves. How can you save her? But, I'm curious, how are you going to save her? This is a tiger's den. We don't have any martial arts skills. Haha, I regret not learning martial arts from Uncle An. Otherwise we would have kicked them away. Little Bean sighed. Pudding leaned close to Little Bean's ear and whispered, actually, I just need to say that Zhang Manlin has AIDS. What kind of bullshit idea is that? These men aren't stupid. Do you think they'll believe you just because you say so? Little Bean didn't think it was a good idea. She might be seen through with a single glance. I have a way to make them believe it. What way? Little Bean looked at her genius sister curiously. The urine of a patient with HIV will be positive even if she's not pregnant. When the time comes, I'll go with Zhang Manlin to the urine test so that they can see it. But Zhang Manlin isn't pregnant and she doesn't have AIDS. How can her urine be positive? Is she taking drugs? Little Bean knew that the urine of drug users was positive. I don't know if she takes drugs or not, but I have a positive pregnancy test kit with me. I can take it out directly. Fuck, where did you get that thing? Little Bean was even more shocked. I stole it from Mommy. Why does Mommy have that thing? Could it be? Little Bean finally realized what was going on. She looked at the pudding with her big eyes. Pudding nodded and said mysteriously, Mommy is pregnant with a second child, but I don't know the gender. Oh my god. Really? Little Bean was still in shock. Keep your voice down, Pudding reminded him. Why didn't anyone tell me? Such a big deal. You guys don't even treat me as a family member. Little Bean looked aggrieved. How could she not know about Mommy's pregnancy? Even Daddy didn't know. How would you know? Pudding said proudly. Little Bean was even more shocked now. She looked at her sister with her mouth wide open. Chapter 2752. Qin Mumu, you can stuff a goose egg in your mouth right now. Oh, I'm just too surprised. You know things that Daddy doesn't know. You're amazing. Little Bean looked at Pudding with admiration. I saw it by accident. Mommy was having morning sickness. She said her stomach was uncomfortable but she wouldn't take any medicine. I knew something was wrong. Then why did you hide Mommy's pregnancy test kit? It's going to be a death exemption card. Little Bean looked at her sister with amusement. No, I wanted to find a chance to tell Daddy secretly. This is the evidence. Fuck, you're betraying Mommy? It's not a betrayal. Mommy and Daddy are a couple, Pudding quibbled. Hey, you win. Qin Zhao Zhao, you're the best. No wonder you're the older sister. Ah, you were born a few minutes earlier than me. You're a lot more awesome. Little Bean worshipped her sister so much that she couldn't stop worshipping her. The two sisters chatted happily. On the other side, Zhang Manlin's clothes were almost stripped off. No matter how much she begged and cried, those people had no intention of letting her go. The man called Big Brother Hai didn't seem to want his subordinates to stop either. Wait, I have important information to exchange with you. Zhang Manlin suddenly had an epiphany and yelled loudly. You crazy woman, what do you want to do now? Big Brother Hai, I have important information to tell you. It's an opportunity for you to make a fortune, Zhang Manlin said directly to the boss. Oh, what important information? What opportunity for you to make a fortune? Tell me. The man called Big Brother Hai played with 2 walnuts in his hands and looked up at Zhang Manlin. I promise you that I'll give you more money than you can spend in your lifetime. But you have to promise me that you won't let your subordinates violate me, or else I'll never tell you. Zhang Manlin made a condition at this moment. Hey bitch, how dare you make conditions with our boss? One of the subordinates grabbed Zhang Manlin's hair and was about to hit her. Stop, Big Brother Hai suddenly shouted. Let her continue. Big Brother Hai seemed to be very interested in Zhang Manlin's opportunity to make a fortune. Let me tell you, you still dare to lie to us. After we're done with you, we'll throw you to the back of the mountain. There are wolves there. When the time comes, we'll leave your corpse in the wilderness. A few of his subordinates threatened Zhang Manlin. Don't worry, I don't want to die yet. I wouldn't dare to lie to Big Brother Hai, Zhang Manlin said calmly. Sis, what do you think this woman is going to say? Little Bean asked curiously. I don't think it's anything good. This woman. Most of her ideas are vicious. We have to be careful. Pudding looked at Zhang Manlin cautiously. Interesting. Hee, a little interesting. Hai put the walnuts in his hand on the table and stood up with a smile. He slowly walked towards Zhang Manlin. Big Brother Hai, does this mean you've agreed? Zhang Manlin raised her head nervously and asked. Right, I promise you. I want to see what great opportunity you have to make me rich. Big Brother Hai agreed to Zhang Manlin's request without hesitation. She was overjoyed. Can you tell me now? The man asked. Zhang Manlin turned her head and pointed at the twins. Then she said viciously, it's them. They can make you rich. The twins' faces changed when they heard this. Chapter 2753. The two of them. How can 2 little girls make me rich? Woman, are you trying to trick me? Do you think I'm an uneducated peasant? Big Brother Hai was very displeased. No, Big Brother Hai, listen to me. Do you know who their parents are? Zhang Manlin grabbed Big Brother Hai's hand anxiously. How the fuck would I know? Woman, don't waste my time. Just tell me. Big Brother Hai seemed to have lost his patience. After all, he was a mountain man and didn't understand word games. Big Brother Hai, the 2 children's father, is a very famous entrepreneur in our country. His name is Qin Chu, the president of GK Corporation. He's worth tens of billions. Their mother is Huamin, the director of Southside Recuperation Center, the most famous hospital in Sea City. The mansion they live in is a castle worth more than 400 million yuan. The children's grandfather is also an entrepreneur. The children's aunt, second grandpa, and so on. Yes, the children's godfather is Su Yu. You must have heard of this name before. He's the famous heir of the Su family in Sea City, the boss behind Imperial Star Corporation. More than half of the popular female stars were groomed by him. He has more than a dozen sports cars. Is it true? Big Brother Hai obviously didn't believe Zhang Manlin's words. It's true. If I lie to you, I'll die a horrible death. Zhang Manlin swore to win Big Brother Hai's trust. Don't talk nonsense. Who said handsome Su is our godfather? You damn woman, you only know how to spread rumors. Little Bean couldn't help but curse at Zhang Manlin. Exposing her and her sister's identities was one thing. She didn't expect her to be noble. But saying that handsome Su was their godfather was a bit too much. The twins often went on Weibo and naturally knew that the word godfather wasn't a good word. So they didn't want to hear Zhang Manlin's nonsense. Big Brother Hai, trust me. If you tie them up right now and call their father, you'll have 1 billion yuan. I guarantee you won't be able to spend it all in your lifetime. You won't have to hide in this poor valley anymore. Zhang Manlin egged on the man named Big Brother Hai. Actually, she was also trying to divert attention so that his subordinates would not touch her. Zhang Manlin, you're really something. You sold us out just to protect yourself. But that's good, I didn't have to think about how to save you. You're the one who killed yourself. Pudding stared at Zhang Manlin's face, not surprised at all. From the moment she started driving slowly, Pudding suspected that she didn't really want to take them home. Therefore, who knew what other dangers there would be in Qinghe town? Things were fine now. The kidnappers suddenly appeared out of nowhere, but as long as they weren't Zhang Manlin or Hua Xiqian's people, things weren't that bad. Kid, I don't need you to save me. Pa, save it. Zhang Manlin sneered at Pudding. Alright, stop arguing. Since we accidentally caught 2 money trees, then. I really need to plan how to make a lot of money. I've had enough of living in this poor ravine. It's time to think about the rest of my life, brothers. Here, the 5 men replied in unison. Our good days are coming. Long live Big Brother Hai. Big Brother, what should we do now? Should we call the families of the 2 kids? Big Brother Hai's men asked excitedly. Chapter 2754. Don't worry, we're tired. Go and cook. We'll have a drink first and then figure out a plan. His boss. The thugs were very happy. Lock the 2 kids in the warehouse. Wait, Pudding suddenly shouted. The adults turned around and looked at Pudding. You're all big men. Do you have to do this? We're only 3 years old. Do you think we can run away? Why don't you lock the woman up? If she accidentally runs away, you'll be in trouble. She'll go down the mountain and call the police. After Pudding finished speaking, the men immediately looked at Zhang Manlin warily. Zhang Manlin was so scared that she quickly waved her hands. Guys, don't listen to this little brat. I won't say anything. I've already told you such important information. I'm on your side now. I won't call the police or run away. After you get the ransom, just let me go. I don't want a penny. No, I'll have to lock you up first. You guys go and lock them up. The 2 little ones in the warehouse. As for the woman, lock her up in the basement. Pudding's words made sense. Big Brother Hai was afraid that Zhang Manlin would cause trouble, so he really locked her up in the basement, where it was even harder to escape. Little brat. Zhang Manlin cursed evilly as she walked past Pudding. Bitch. Pudding, who had always been polite and didn't like to curse, retorted for the first time. She also cursed Zhang Manlin. Just like that, the twins were locked up in the warehouse. Zhang Manlin was locked up in the basement. The thugs ate and drank as if they were celebrating the capture of the God of Fortune. On the other side, near Taoyuan village, the helicopter landed on the flat ground at the foot of the mountain. The armed police were all on standby. There were 40 to 50 people. Gao Ran in his police uniform got off the plane. When he got off the helicopter, the leader of the armed police walked over and saluted Gao Ran. Hello, Chief Gao. I'm Zhang Bin, the platoon leader of this mission. We received orders from our superiors to help you chase the thugs. Yes, thank you for your hard work, platoon leader Zhang. Gao Ran nodded. It's nothing. It's my duty to serve the people. What's the situation in the mountains now? Can you find the exact location of He Yongjun and Wang Yao? Gao Ran asked as he took the binoculars from Zhang Bin. It's very difficult. That criminal is obviously very skilled, and his anti-reconnaissance ability is particularly strong. The place he's hiding in is steep, easy to defend and difficult to attack. We're thinking of a way. Yes, if necessary you can kill him on the spot. Gao Ran directly told him the truth. Understood. Afterward, platoon leader Zhang went to deploy the mission. Gao Ran turned around and said to Qin Chu and Huamin, "This is a reinforced platoon. There are more than 50 of them. They are soldiers stationed nearby. Although their firepower is not particularly strong, it is more than enough to deal with He Yongjun and Xinjiani. You guys don't have to worry." Okay. Qin Chu nodded. Then he looked at his watch and realized that a few hours had passed. He didn't say anything. Instead, he took out a few egg yolk pies from his backpack and handed them to Huamin. "Mian, eat some first. Fill your stomach or else you'll feel uncomfortable." Qin Chu looked at Huamin gently. "Honey, if you're not hungry, eat less. Treat it as a snack. Good girl. Listen to me. I'll call Su Yu and ask about the situation in Qinghe town." After speaking, Qin Chu touched Huamin's face lovingly. Then he turned around and picked up his phone to call Su Yu. Chapter 2755. Hello. Su Yu, are you guys in Qinghe town yet? Huamin leaned against the police car and forced herself to eat the egg yolk pie that Mr. Qin brought for her. She reached out and touched her belly. She was so depressed recently. How was the baby in her belly? Had it grown a little? After a while, Qin Chu hung up the phone and walked back. Honey, did you get the baby? Huamin immediately asked. Not yet, Zhang Manlin hasn't arrived in Qinghe town yet. How could this be? Did something go wrong? Huamin's expression was terrible. Oh, don't worry, Mian. Qinghe town is Zhang Manlin's only way. She has no other way out and will definitely pass by Qinghe town. Qinghe town is guarded by Su Yu, Tang Chuan and Ning Ning. There are also many police officers guarding the town. Even a fly would have a hard time flying in, let alone a living person. Qin Chu comforted Huamin. I hope the babies are okay. As she spoke, Huamin leaned on Qin Chu's shoulder and began crying again. Perhaps it was because pregnant women tended to be emotional. Huamin was physically and mentally exhausted and looked very fragile. Even Gao Ran couldn't stand it anymore. Huamin, go rest in the car. There's hot water inside and it's too cold outside. There's nothing you can do outside. Before Huamin could speak, a loud noise came from the mountains. What's that sound? Gao Ran turned his head and his expression changed drastically. Then he saw a few police officers run out in panic. Platoon leader, the criminal had explosives on him. Our people were injured. Contact the hospital immediately. Platoon leader Zhang Bin was also very anxious. I told you that they had explosives on them. Why didn't you be more careful? Gao Ran felt bad when he heard that someone was injured. Chief Gao, we've been very careful. But that criminal is too cunning. He didn't throw the explosives out directly but buried them. We couldn't see them at all. A young armed police officer replied, feeling wronged. Fuck, you want to play mind warfare with me? Gao Ran was furious. Chief Gao, what should we do now? Should we find a demoning expert? Platoon leader Zhang Bin was also at a loss. They are just the armed police force. Their usual anti-terrorism measures are just for show. They have never experienced anything like this before. So he asked for Gao Ran's opinion. If you want a demoning expert, you'll have to transfer him from the province. It's too late, too late. He Yongjun will run away. Gao Ran gritted his teeth and said. He had read He Yongjun's information. He was a very cunning person who was good at smuggling. He could come and go as he pleased in a place like Vietnam where dragons and snakes mingled. Therefore they couldn't let their guard down. I know how to demean. Let me do it. Qin Chu took off his black casual jacket and put it in his hand. Then he walked out from behind Gao Ran. You. Gao Ran didn't expect Qin Chu to step up at this time. However, he knew that Mr. Qin was never one to brag. If he said he knew how to demean, then he definitely knew how to do it. I'm going to demean. You guys follow behind me. That way it'll be fine. Qin Chu looked at platoon leader Zhang Bin and said. No, I don't agree. Huamin threw the egg yolk pie in his hand onto the ground. He jogged over and grabbed Qin Chu's hand. Huamin. Qin Chu's tone was gentle. He wanted to coax Huamin. I said no, I can't let you take the risk. He Yongjun doesn't play by the rules. We can't take the risk. Huamin's attitude was firm. Then what do we do now? Platoon leader Zhang was also at a loss. Chapter 2756. Huamin. Qin Chu tried to convince Huamin. However, Huamin interrupted him. I have an idea. What idea? Gao Ran came over curiously. He knew that Huamin had always been smart. Doesn't he Yongjun like to play with landmines? Then we can give him a taste of his own medicine, Huamin said. Platoon leader Zhang was confused and so was Gao Ran. Even Qin Chu immediately understood Huamin's intention. Mian, you want to use explosives? Yes. Huamin nodded. But we didn't bring any explosives. Plus, we're not allowed to bring explosives when we're on a mission. If we go back to the army to apply, it'll take a long time to get approval from the higher-ups. It'll still be a waste of time. Platoon leader Zhang didn't think Huamin's idea was good. No need, I can make it on the spot, Huamin said calmly. What? Platoon leader Zhang's mouth opened wide. I said I can make explosives on the spot for you to use, Huamin repeated. Oh my god, your wife is going to heaven. Gao Ran glanced at Qin Chu. Qin Chu on the other hand had a proud look on his face. He put his arm around Huamin's shoulder and said, my wife is a genius. Yes, if you want to say that, no one will argue with you. Gao Ran nodded in agreement. Is this reliable? Platoon leader Zhang didn't know Huamin. He only knew that she was the mother of the kidnapped child and was also Director Gao's friend. How could a woman who looked so weak do such a dangerous thing? Don't doubt her, she's the director of the hospital and a genius of the medical school. Gao Ran felt that even if Huamin said that he could make an atomic bomb, he would not be surprised. This was because Huamin and Qin Chu were the same. They were both people who didn't know how to brag. They never dared to say anything that wasn't reliable. Since I've said it, I'll definitely do it. This is something that ordinary women can't compare to. Even Jiang Shaowei gave him a thumbs up. But the area in the mountain is very big, the explosives I have won't be enough. Platoon leader Zhang looked at the terrain analysis in the depths of the mountain. It's okay. I'll make as many explosives as you want, Huamin said confidently. This time it was platoon leader Zhang's turn to be speechless. Mian, you're going to use gasoline and beer, right? Qin Chu was also a medical student, so he knew what his wife was thinking. Yes. Huamin nodded. I had the same idea as you, but gasoline and beer bottles are limited in power. I'm afraid it won't be enough to intimidate He Yongjun. Qin Chu also had his own doubts. Therefore he thought that it would be better to just clear the mines. After all, based on their current analysis, He Yongjun wouldn't have a lot of explosives on him. However, Huamin didn't want Qin Chu to take the risk. She would rather start making large quantities of explosives. Just as Qin Chu said, she used a lot of gasoline from the car. Gasoline was a flammable and explosive liquid. Then she put it in a glass bottle and it became a very simple explosive. She lit it with a lighter and it went up into the air with a bang. Huamin and Qin Chu led a group of armed police to work on the explosives. It didn't take long for them to finish. Everyone brought the explosives into the mountain again to search for He Yongjun and Shen Jiani's hiding place. Just then Huamin turned around and took out a small white bag from her bag. Huamin, what are you doing? Gao Ran curiously leaned over to take a look. A big gift for the two bastards who kidnapped my daughter, Huamin said calmly. Then Huamin skillfully poured the white powder into the glass bottle and mixed it with gasoline. Chapter 2757. Qin Chu, your wife is showing her power. Gao Ran was speechless. Yeah, don't hold back. Honey, use your talents. If anything happens, I'll take care of it for you. Qin Chu quietly fanned the flames. Gao Ran was speechless upon hearing this. Platoon leader Zhang Bin didn't say a word. He didn't dare to get involved because his superiors told him that this mission was very special. The parents of the missing children were very important people and couldn't be messed with. Even Gao Ran, the director of the Municipal Public Security Bureau, was a few ranks higher than him. Not to mention this mysterious couple who looked a little strange. Wait, Huamin, don't be impulsive. I know you hate those two people, but it's not good to blow them up, right? Gao Ran thought that Huamin was going to kill He Yongjun and Shen Jiani in one fell swoop. So he tried to persuade Huamin not to be impulsive. Huamin didn't say anything. He lowered his head and continued to fiddle with the machine, looking very serious. Huamin, I'm serious, let's not joke around. What I mean is, you can blow up their arms and legs, but I'll be able to report back to my superiors if they're still alive. Don't worry, these two bastards will be locked up for the rest of their lives. Gao Ran continued to persuade him. Huamin still didn't say anything. Qin Chu didn't know what he was thinking. Qin Chu, help me persuade your wife. Don't be impulsive, impulsiveness is the devil. Finally, Gao Ran stood up helplessly and turned to Qin Chu for help. My wife likes devils. Mr. Qin was extremely protective of his wife. Gao Ran. Just as Gao Ran was speechless, Huamin stood up and took out a small glass bottle. The liquid inside was light purple. Don't worry, I won't directly take their lives. I know what I'm doing. Huamin said. Hey, that's good. You should have said so earlier. Someone bring this explosive into the mountains. Wait a minute. Huamin stopped them. What? Is there anything else we need to pay attention to? Gao Ran had never had enough of watching Huamin develop explosives. Therefore they weren't sure what kind of firepower it was. If only Suyu was here. Suyu had seen Huamin bring liquid explosives to Huasiqian with his own eyes. The firepower left Suyu flabbergasted. Of course you have to be careful. This thing doesn't have to be too close to He Yongjun and the others. It'll be effective within a radius of 10 li, Huamin said. Fuck, Within a radius of 10 li? You're not blowing people up, you're blowing up mountains. Vice Director Hua. Gao Ran was once again dumbfounded. Let me finish, don't worry. The firepower of this explosive isn't that great. But after it explodes, it will release a chemical gas. So, after we detonate it, we need to quickly evacuate with gas masks. The rest is easy. He Yongjun and Shin Jiani will be powerless within 5 minutes once they smell the gas. That's amazing. Gao Ran seemed to be a little skeptical. What? Why don't you try it first? Humin asked him back. No, I was just asking. Did you guys hear what Vice Director Hua said? Gao Ran asked the 2 armed police officers holding the explosives. Yes. Then go, let's get this over with quickly, Gao Ran ordered. When the armed police officers brought the explosives into the depths of the mountains again, it was much easier. They detonated the simple explosives developed by Humin according to Qinchu's deployment location. Then they blew up the explosives that He Yongjun had previously buried, deep in the mountains, behind a huge rock. Shin Jiani trembled as she grabbed He Yongjun's clothes. Big brother Jun, what should we do? They seem to have destroyed all our explosives. That you're tuning in to the Biao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.